storm warning for the entire state of North Carolina, the entire state of South Carolina, Georgia, including Atlanta. Winter storm warning also. We haven't seen a storm like this for eastern North Carolina since 1989. If they get a foot or more of snow, especially where Mike Seidel is right now. You have to go back to like 1973 before you saw an epic amount of snowfall for eastern North Carolina. Last time Charlotte picked up 8 inches of snow or more was 12 years ago. It was February 2014. So we're going to be right in the neck of there somewhere. But the SLR, snow liquid ratio, off the charts for this time of year, this time of place, in this area. You're talking about 15 to 20 to 1 inches of snow per 1 inch of rain. That to me is amazing, and it's already starting to pile up right now. It just started picking up a little bit ago, and I know you guys have been watching it in the studio, that snow shield moving in. 2 shots of distinct heavy snow, one for the Piedmont rolling up through the mountains, and then the other one develops late this evening through tomorrow morning early right around the coastal part of North Carolina as that low begins to deepen. But I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio. I don't know your thoughts. This upper level low taking its time to move in, which means I think we're going to be locked and loaded in that snow-making belt for a longer period of time. So it's going to start piling up a little bit quicker later this afternoon.
And I know your forecast last hour, Bob, was right around 8 inches for Charlotte, correct? You still thinking that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it hasn't really changed, right? I'm watching for the models to come in. I'm looking at HRR, pivots it around a little bit more. The rapid refresh models all have a nice little shot of snow. Some banding going on there as well, but I like the positioning of that low-level area of low pressure. I'm talking about the 851. That's going to go right down to our south in the upstate of South Carolina. It's in Atlanta right now, goes through Augusta, through Columbia, ultimately offshore. But that's in a perfect spot for the Piedmont of North Carolina to get slammed with heavy snow. You just have to look upstairs about 5,000 feet. Where's that low pressure center? Usually north in that region. That's where you're going to get the heavy snow. That's where we're going to get.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's Fox weather meteorologist Bob Van Dillen. Thanks for that update. We'll check back in with you.
Yep.
We continue to follow this life-threatening winter storm for the Carolinas. Whiteout conditions and dangerous cold to follow. You're taking a live look across Blairsville, Georgia, where we've been monitoring this scene over the past hour. We continue to see the snow coming down, as well as snow-covered roads, and the feels-like temperature at 10 degrees. That cold is just going to be with us into the start of the week. So let's first talk about our winter weather alerts. And we have this really highlighted for northern Georgia, into the Carolinas, and also into Virginia. And this is really where the storm is going to make its closest pass. And as it does, it is going to strengthen. So our biggest impacts here are going to be in terms of the heavy snow, the high wind, but also those coastal impacts. We are talking about a nor'easter. So to get a nor'easter, you need that northeast wind, and it's going to be working right against the coast, so there could potentially be some coastal erosion impacts. Let's first talk about the snow that's still to come, and I do want to highlight the areas where we could see about 5 to 8 inches of snow, and that's likely going to be for a widespread section, southern Virginia through western South Carolina. Meanwhile, though, the closer that you get to the coast, that's where we could see some of the highest totals with this, and historic totals at that. 8 to 12 inches is possible. So some spots could pick up a foot, if not even higher, when all is said and done. And really the highest rates are expected as we go through tonight and through the early morning hours. That's when those snow rates are going to be coming down at a pretty good pace. And really, when you talk about how cold the temperatures are, this is just going to allow that snow to be dry and stack up pretty efficiently. Surface pressure, we've been talking about the low that's developing, and it will continue to develop. So this morning, it just really set up shop off the Carolina coast, and the central pressure has been around 1,008 millibars, Michael, but it's expected to undergo what we call bombogenesis. So that central pressure rapidly strengthening and dropping as we go forward over the next 24 hours, and that's really what's going to bring us this high impact event as well.
Yeah, I mean, when the area of low pressure strengthens, it means that it will produce faster winds and stronger winds. It'll produce more snow for a longer period of time, and all of that is the ingredients that you need for a blizzard.
Right.
And so literally we could be talking about not just like a ground blizzard where you have snow that's already on the ground. You think about Charlotte where Bob is at, and you have all that wind that's blowing things around that makes it difficult to see. But also if it's falling from the sky, That's a legit blizzard. So a lot that we're going to be keeping our eyes on there. We turn our attention to Kill Devil Hills, where it's only 28 degrees right now. And as we mentioned, with that area of low pressure continuing to deepen, strengthen, the wind starting to pick up, the visibility starting to fall, that, my friends, lines us up perfectly for, again, blizzard criteria. So we're thinking that these areas right along the coast, from Nags Head down Cape Hatteras, where we could be talking about wind gusts way over that 35-mile-per-hour threshold. We're talking 40, 50, maybe even 60-mile-per-hour thresholds through this afternoon and this evening. Watch what happens. There's a 40 to 50 right there, Cape Hatteras, around 8 p.m. this evening. Along with the snow and the reduced visibility, my goodness, last thing that you'd ever expect to hear along the Cape is blizzard-like conditions, but that is exactly what we could be contending with. Visibilities, right now things look okay, but watch how visibilities in Hatteras really begin to fall, not just through the morning, but into this afternoon and then into this evening, down to what, 1 to 0 in terms of visibilities, not to mention the wind. And all that wind, Nick, what it's doing is it's driving all of that moisture, I should say, all that ocean water right along the shoreline. That could create some coastal flooding. And Nick, this is your old stomping grounds. Erosion is a huge issue in Cape Hatteras.
I mean, that's a fragile part of the country, right? And we already had a pretty nasty hurricane season, not necessarily with landfalls, but big, strong storms that were just passing by along the East Coast. Unfortunately, damaged homes and created an issue where they were falling down and lost to the ocean. So hopefully none of that happens this time around. We'll see. Right now, though, we're getting great video and images from people all across the Carolinas through our See It, Share It campaign on our website. Look at this from Greensboro, North Carolina. The snow's coming down. It's blowing all around, and it's really starting to add up quickly. This is the type of snow that will add up quickly. It's very dry, very fluffy. This is another one in Ferguson, North Carolina. Look at that, wintry scenes all over. This one from Granite Falls. So cars, roofs, barns, starting to collect that snow fairly quickly. And you just heard Bob saying that in the Charlotte area, where there's a big population center, the snow is going to come down a little more rapidly around midday. So we're certainly going to see much more snow on the ground. In the next few hours, I don't think you'll be seeing many blades of grass poking up through the snow. So we want to continue to see your pics and video and share them with everybody watching. Scan that QR code with your cell phone right now. We all kind of got familiar with doing that during the pandemic, right? And if you have never done that, maybe you don't want to or you can't, do it online. So go to Fox.
All right, and thank you to our Fox Weather team. Now, as a reminder, you can stream Fox Weather anytime, anywhere. Just search for Fox Weather. We are going to step away for a commercial break on Live Now from Fox. We'll be right back.
Teen romances on Tubi will be free forever.
You mean I have to pick between Brad and Chad forever?
Chad? Who's Chad?
You're watching live now from Fox. Welcome back and happy Saturday to you. Let's head back out to Capitol Hill. The Senate voted yesterday to fund most of the government through the end of September while carving out a temporary extension for Homeland Security funding, giving Congress 2 weeks to debate new restrictions on federal immigration raids across the country. With a weekend shutdown looming, President Trump struck the spending deal with Senate Democrats on Thursday in the wake of the deaths of 2 protesters in Minneapolis. Democrats said they would not vote for the larger spending bill unless Congress considers legislation to unmask agents, require more warrants, and allow local authorities to help investigate any incidents. As lawmakers in both parties called for investigations into the fatal shootings, President Trump said he didn't want a shutdown and negotiated the rare deal with Schumer. Trump then encouraged members of both parties to cast a, quote, much needed bipartisan yes vote. We did share that with you, and President Trump posted to Truth Social. Now, the bill passed 71 to 29. It will now head to the House, which is not due back until Monday. That means the government is in a partial shutdown temporarily over the weekend until they pass it. Speaker Mike Johnson, who held a conference call Friday with GOP lawmakers, said he expects the House to vote Monday evening. But what is uncertain right now is how much support there will be for the package. Also unclear right now is how involved President Trump will be in the negotiations over new restrictions on immigration arrests, or if Republicans and Democrats could find any points of compromise. Now, we did hear from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer as he spoke last night.
The American people are demanding Congress step up and force change. This weekend, Senate Democrats joined the American people in demanding real change when it comes to ICE and its behavior. On Saturday night, I announced we would not provide the votes to proceed to government funding and to the government funding bill if the DHS funding bill was included. Some may have thought we were not serious, that this was mere theater and business could proceed as usual. Well, as snow fell across Washington on Sunday,